Most of us know Titanic as the greatest maritime tragedy, a ship so grand it couldn't sink, yet claimed around 500 lives on its maiden voyage in 1912. But what if I told you that this legendary disaster, so immortalized on screen and in song, isn't even the worst sea tragedy in human history? Prepare to have your jaw drop. In this video, we'll shine a spotlight on 4 catastrophic shipwrecks deadlier than Titanic, each rocked by war, negligence, or sheer misfortune, and uncover why they've faded from public memory. By journey's end, you'll gain a clearer picture of how we remember history and why we must do better. First, let's revisit Titanic, a marvel of engineering at the beginning of the 20th century. 140,000 tons of steel, 882 feet long, marketed as practically unsinkable. But tragedy struck on April 14, 1912, when the ship collided with an iceberg. Because of limited lifeboats, only enough for about half its people, and delayed evacuations, approximately 500 souls were lost to the icy North Atlantic. Titanic tugs at heartstrings. The dramatic music, sweeping romance, and real-life heroics are perfect for storytelling. James Cameron's iconic 1997 film sealed its place in pop culture forever. But let's pause. Do popularity and tragedy scale always match? Spoiler, not always. What's fascinating is this. Titanic became a symbol because it was the right story told at the right time, with all the perfect emotional ingredients. Yet, as we'll see, scale often differs from narrative. Now travel forward to January 30, 1945. The German ship Wilhelm Gustloff, originally a luxury liner turned refugee vessel, sails from Gotenhafen, packed with civilians and naval personnel escaping Soviet forces. In the early morning, a Soviet submarine torpedoes it. Within 40 minutes, the ship sinks into the icy Baltic, about 400 lives extinguished. That's 6 times the death toll of Titanic. Compare narratives. Titanic's death count of 500 shocked an entire continent. But Gustloff, virtually unheard of in Western pop culture. Why? Because it wasn't a romantic love story, and it didn't align with post-war sympathy narratives. Unlike Titanic, Gustloff had no Hollywood script, no sweeping score, just cold, political tragedy. What gets memorialized often isn't the biggest scale of tragedy. It's the one that fits our emotional templates. Next, shift to December 20, 1987. The South China Sea. MV Doda Paz, a passenger ferry in the Philippines, collides with the oil tanker Vector. A massive fireball cracks the night. Overloaded, badly maintained, and under-equipped, Doda Paz sinks within minutes. Take a deep breath. 300 lives lost. It's the deadliest peacetime maritime disaster. Yet how many have heard this story? This was a tragedy born of negligence, overcrowding, failure to enforce safety regs, poor emergency planning, but global media barely reported it. Unlike Titanic's Western glamour, Doda Paz sank in relative obscurity. Imagine standing at 300 graves, nearly 3 Titanics worth of lives wiped out in an instant. Yet the story didn't travel, because it didn't deliver the cinematic drama the world was tuned for. Now let's head to December 4, 1948, near Shanghai, China. SS Qiangya, a passenger steamship, explodes, likely triggered by leftover mines from the Civil War. Casualty estimates range from 750 to nearly 4,000. And yet, no blockbuster films, no memorial parks, no public reckoning. Another enormous tragedy covered up by chaos. China was in upheaval, divided by war. The tragedy got buried beneath politics and diplomacy. Still several times larger than Titanic, swallowed up by circumstance. This story reminds us history isn't just what we see. It's also what's deliberately, or accidentally, left in shadows. Now let's lay it out side by side. Titanic's 1912 500 dead. Now's 1945 400 pass and 1987 300. Qiangya's 1948 734,000. Numbers speak volumes. Titanic fails to make top 3. Why does it still feel like the worst? Because narrative trumps numbers, and because some tragedies are deliberately archived while others vanish. Our challenge: respect all tragedies equally, regardless of packaging. Now, let's bring these shadows into light, one story at a time. Number 1. MV Duda Paz survivor, meet Maria, a young mother from Cebu. She lost her husband and 2 children that night. She recalls being pulled from burning water by a fisherman who risked his life. She lives quiet humility, yet there's no monument bearing her family's name. Number 2. Gustloff descendancy. Then there's Klaus, grandson of a sailor. Growing up in Germany, he discovered only in his teens that Granddad never returned. No TV movie, no street named after him, just cold archives. Number 3. Kiangya victim's family in Shanghai. A grandmother's photo in an old album. Her grandson was on that steamship. Today, she teaches in a small school, never seeing his face on any memorial. Numbers become real when we hear voices and faces. These tragedies weren't just statistics. They shattered families, communities. Here's what we can learn. Number 1. Narrative shapes memory. If it has drama, emotion, and media attention, it survives. If not, it vanishes. Number 2. Safety matters. Worldwide, from Titanic to Duda Paz, from Gustloff to Kiangya, each disaster highlights flaws, be it in engineering regulation or political indifference. Number 3. History is incomplete unless we dig deeper. Uncovering these stories is about karmic respect. Every life deserves its place in memory. Number 4. Numbers don't lie, but stories matter. Know both. Use data and human voice together to understand truth. These lessons aren't just for historians. They apply to how we consume news, how we govern transport safety, even how we remember loved ones. So, Titanic may be the most memorialized, but it's not the deadliest. Wilhelm Gustloff, Duda Paz, Kiangya, these tragedies deserve our attention, our memory, our respect. Help spread the word. Share this video to honor those lost in forgotten waters. If you care about history, compassion, and justice, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Coming next, we'll explore another untold story from history that should haunt our memory. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next deep dive.